Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at more people who trusted their gut feelings. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I've told this story many times and it never ceases to amaze me how creepy it was. I was almost kidnapped. When I was 13, my mum and I were in a tourist shop in the small town we lived in. I noticed this woman eyeing me, but didn't think anything of it. My mum called me over to look at something saying, "Miranda, come look at this dress." I noticed the woman leave the shop. I looked at the dress and went back to looking around. I lost track of my mum. Then the woman came back through the door and asked me if my name was Miranda. I said yes. She told me to come with her because my mum was in the next shop and sent her to get me. Oh wow. So whoa. This is like next level because she even learnt her name and she was like trying to make her trust her. I didn't believe her because my mum is the kind of mum who would have told me if she was going to the next shop. I just told the woman I would go find her when I was done in this shop and that my mum wouldn't send a stranger to come get me. The woman looked really surprised and said something like, "Well, okay then." She looked surprised because she was like, "Oh, this kid is too smart to kidnap," and left. I was pretty shaken. A few minutes later, my mum came out of the back of the shop. I asked her if she had asked a woman to come get me, even though I knew almost for sure she didn't. My mum, of course, said no. I waited a very long time before I told my mum what happened. Thank gosh she was smart. I love how she was so quick to be like, stranger danger, and like her alerts went out, you know. Man, Miranda was smart. Be like Miranda. And this isn't the typical scenario that involves a van or like a car, you know. It's in the middle of a store. Like what? I feel like this is like the least suspicious, you know. Jeez, that's scary. Kids, don't follow strangers, alright? Once I had to get up really early in the morning to go on a trip for my job. It was about 3:30 in the morning and I had forgotten to go and get gas for my car the night before. I stopped at a gas station about a mile away from my house because it was well lit and it was a nicer area. Anyways, I was pumping gas and then I got the weirdest feeling that I needed to move. I moved behind my car and then away from it, and then I noticed this huge guy hiding in front of my car. Wow! He was sneaking towards me when I got the urge to get away from my car. I was completely alone and I'm just a small girl. I almost always have a mace or something with me if I am by myself. A mace? What the? I'm just pulling out a mace out of nowhere. I started screaming bloody murder for him to get away from me. Then he started moving closer around my car to me. I screamed even louder and an attendant came out who called the cops. Definitely one of the scariest moments of my life. He was doing this at a gas station? Where did he even come from? Was he just like hiding and he just like snuck to like her car? Thank God she had a feeling when she was like, wait, something isn't right. What would your reaction be if you just saw some random big guy behind your car? I would be so freaked out, man. I don't know what I would do because it's like, I guess I'll get in my car. But then I feel like he's gonna try and get in my car. Well, I don't know what to do, honestly. Oh my gosh, I need to plan things out now. I need to plan things out in advance just in case. Jeez. Woke up in the middle of the night and was only 100% alert, no grogginess. I sensed something was off and instantly smelled gas. My bedroom in this house had 2 doors with one of them leading to the kitchen, so I hop out of bed and fling that door open. That's when the gas smell became almost unbearable, but I ran to the gas oven and flung it open to see a black disc closely resembling what was once a frozen pizza. I turned off the oven and peered into the living room, and that's where I saw my drunkenly passed out and naked roommate. After opening all the windows and kitchen door, I tried to wake him up but to no success. The living room didn't smell at all, so I figured he'd be safe for the night and just went back to bed. I still find odd comfort with how quick I reacted to what could have been a very bad situation. Whoa! Oh my gosh. I feel like this is honestly the scariest because sometimes people just forget like the stove is on and they forget to turn the gas off or whatever, and then something bad could really happen, you know. This happens like a few times to me because sometimes people forget to turn off the gas, but I'm like always in the kitchen, so I always smell gas. So I'm like, oh, you forgot to turn off the gas, I'll turn it off. I'm just always in the kitchen, you know. What if I wasn't there, huh? I'm saving lives, man. When I was a teenager, I pulled up to a gas station and saw a 15 to 16-year-old blonde girl get into a gold-colored Oldsmobile with two middle-aged men. She got in willingly, but the scene made me really uncomfortable, so I memorized the license plate. Later that day, I went back to the same place and saw a brand new missing persons poster with her picture. I called the police with the information I had. The car was pulled over 2 states away, and she was reunited with her parents less than 24 hours after the ordeal began. I still remember that license plate after over 20 years. Whoa, thank God for this person's good memory, seriously. Because if that was me, I feel like I would look at the license plate, but I wouldn't be able to remember it, you know? Even if I was like saying it over and over again, it would just get mixed up in my head. Wow, this person is amazing. They saved a person. Oh, those men must have looked really suspicious for him to be like, oh, this doesn't match up. Honestly though, what are the chances that this happens and then there's just one person just there, you know? Like, what if he was never there? This girl would have been in trouble. Whew. A couple weeks ago, I was in my room and I suddenly got a bad feeling in my gut. I felt like something was wrong and I couldn't shake it off. The last time I had this feeling, my ramen I was heating in the microwave had caught on fire. Different story. I ran around the house to see if anything happened and I found it. I had left my front door unlocked and some guy had walked in and took a poop on my carpet. They smeared it all over the place and ran away. I'm glad I noticed because they left the door wide open and the poop was still fresh enough to come off without major stains. What person would do this? Like, seriously, what normal person would go into someone's house and poop on the floor and then smear it on the floor and then just run away? Maybe they were busting, but then if you're busting, you could just do it outside, you know? You don't have to go into someone's house. Like, what were they thinking? They did all this for what? I'll be pissed. Seriously, someone randomly coming into my home and just pooping and then just running away and then they leave the poop for me to clean. Like, you're not my dog, please. One night I woke up and my house was completely quiet, but I had this weird feeling, so I went downstairs to my front door. That's when I saw a man staring through the front door. Whoa, that's creepy. I mean, what did they do? Did they like lock the door, or was the door unlocked and then they locked the door? Like, what was the feeling? They just saw the man. That's it. I mean, I guess that must have scared the man away because they realized someone was awake, you know? This is like my biggest fear as well. Like, sometimes I'll just walk around the house and then I'll just look at the door, you know, just cause. And then inside my mind, I'm always like, I hope there's no one outside looking back at me, you know? When I was 10 or 11, I woke up in the middle of the night with a feeling in my stomach that something wasn't right. I got out of bed and went to my mum's room, but she wasn't there. It was just me, my mum, and a younger brother. So I searched elsewhere in our dark house when she suddenly grabbed me and led me outside, telling me that my father was coming. My father was not a nice man. Oh. We know what this means. We know what this means. Oh, the poor kids and the poor mum. My mother told me she had already hidden my brother and she took me outside and hid in the bushes with just enough view of the kitchen window of our house. Oh my gosh. This is what they have to deal with? Like, every time their dad comes back, they have to hide? I watched as my parents fought and my dad screaming at her, asking where his children were. He searched for us outside as well, and I've never held my breath and sat so still that when he passed the bushes I was hiding in. Oh my goodness, I feel bad for these kids. Holy. What? Oh my gosh. The poor mum as well, the poor mum. Oh my gosh, they must have been living in an actual nightmare. I work as a nurse and I will never forget this one situation. I was working over a weekend and had a patient who wasn't doing well. He had end-stage lung cancer and there wasn't much that we could do except to help control some of his symptoms. I spent much of the morning running circles around him, trying to get his shortness of breath under control so it was at least tolerable for him. By about lunchtime, I had him feeling well enough to actually sit up for lunch and have a bit of a chat with his wife. After lunch, I got busy with another patient. The doctor left me a ton of orders I had to process, including lots of lab work and to start a blood transfusion. Once I had done what I could, something went off in my head and I felt compelled to check on my patient with lung cancer. As I neared his room, a feeling of dread grew in the pit of my stomach to the point where I almost didn't want to go in. When I did go in, I found him already dead. Oh, that... I feel like that's so sad for nurses because sometimes they get really close to the patients and like you try to do your best, but sometimes things just happen and you just can't help it and you can't blame yourself for it, you know. In my first year in high school, I remember walking home one day with a very bad feeling. It's not as if I was suspecting anything. Everything just kind of felt heavy and looked a few shades darker than normal, like the calm before a storm. When I got home, my parents informed me and my sister about their plans of getting a break from marriage for a while. Oh, so they had a feeling that their parents were gonna get a divorce? Oh, that sucks to find out when you're a kid and when you're still growing and when you still need your parents in your life. I stay at my boyfriend's apartment a lot. I came down one night just regularly and something made me pause before I stepped outside. So I stopped and looked through the door windows and there was this dude staring at me. Another one? How many people do this? Seriously? You just go into someone's front yard and then you just look into someone's window? That's so creepy. Why would you do that? Like, go home or something. Why would you even want to do this? Like, honestly, I don't understand. Home is nice. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.